Have you ever done that thing first thing in the morning, say, you've got up, you looked in the mirror, it's all a bit foggy, condensation is all over it, and you've wiped the mirror like that, and suddenly you can see yourself clearly, and you go, oh, I look a bit rough this morning. Or you're sitting in the car and you're about to drive out, it's cold, again, there's mist or condensation or fog, and you run the windscreen across it, and suddenly it's clear, and the clarity makes everything a little bit easier. And that what you saw before, these sort of disformed shapes, these sort of weird blurred shapes before, because you were looking through a fog, was not giving you the real true picture, that it was an illusion. Well, having done these videos, and I'm afraid this one is a little inconclusive as a video, I appreciate that, but I'm beginning to realize that so much of this, so much of what we've been talking about and sharing here is an illusion, is theatre. And so much of this goes deeper than just that a lot of our lives, a lot of the things that we've been told, a lot of the way that we live is an illusion. And I will allude, if I can put it that way, to more of this in later videos, as I'm slowly crystallizing these ideas and the things that I've been told. But the reason I want to say this is because I'm continually getting emails from people who are sharing links with me to all sorts of sites, to all sorts of weird and wonderful and rather gruesome and frightening things that are going on. And the more I get that, the more I feel that fear in the pit of my stomach. And sometimes I go away having answered so many emails, feeling very fearful, not for myself particularly, but for the world, for where we're going, for the generation. I talked about my very personal experience with that woman down under who has now resigned from her job in New Zealand, and how it had affected me because of the relationship that I have with my daughter, who was cajoled and forced into something she never needed to have. And there are those people who are telling me that certain parts of that story is a complete load of old nonsense, that actually that they say that even that has been contrived, that it never was, and that the thing that's been brought forward to remedy it is actually worse than the thing that we were told about. And that the rules and regulations that are going to come in to maybe force us more and more to take these things, if I can just refer to them as that, maybe more stringent. But I say that's going to be not so, because I think it's an illusion. I think there's a lot of theatre, there's a lot of stuff going on. I think that in some respects, what we've seen with these leaders and these so-called elites and these so-called people who think they're in charge, these people who've assumed they're in charge, that their mindset is that they've decided they're in charge. But of course, it's an illusion. We haven't voted for them. We didn't ask for them. We can reject them. It's an illusion. It's theatre. I think that whole business is an illusion. It is a magician's trick of diversion, that may not be the true story, that we are being diverted all the time. Now, I know this sounds vague, and you would prefer to have something a lot more concrete from someone like me. However, we are on platforms in which certain things, you know that if you mention them, are going to be withheld because of their terms and conditions. And provided that you stay within their terms and conditions, it's okay. And so this is why sometimes the language is a little vague and a little strange and hard to comprehend. But it's all out there. It's all out there, and we have to look for it. But it is an illusion. I had an email yesterday from somebody, I won't mention his name, and I know he watches, and he's probably watching this, and hello to you. And he said that, in essence, he was a little upset that I was coming out with falsehoods, that there were things that I was saying that were not true. And that is so much so that he was going to write about this and put it on his website. And he thought that I was working for the fossil fuel industry, which made me smile, for I work for myself, and these are my own personal opinions. They are the opinions of a living man and of nobody else's. But even so, he'd left his telephone number, a communication method that I could get in touch with him. Whether he knew I was going to ring him or not, I don't know, but I called his bluff and I rang the number. Now in England, you can put 141 in front of the number you wish to call, and it will not reveal your telephone number to the person. I don't want him ringing me up at all hours because I'd never met him and never spoken to him. I don't know whether he was sane, rational, or a lunatic. And so in order to protect myself, I did that. And at the moment I introduced myself, he laughed. He laughed because the last person he expected was me to call him, and I called him. And I said, hello. I said, you've written these things. I don't understand. What is it that I'm saying that you feel incensed is so wrong? Now, instead of telling me, he was pointing to a video. He said, well, I want you to watch this video. It will reveal all. I said, well, I don't want to watch a video. I have called you. You've said I'm doing things wrong. I'm calling you. Here is an opportunity to talk to me one-to-one. What are the things that I am saying that are wrong? And he wouldn't say. He wouldn't say. I gathered after the conversation continued that it was to do with perhaps my stance on the man-made global warming situation, which is an illusion. We're being sold this idea and policies are being made on an illusion that the planet is warming and that these things are happening. But it's an illusion. It's theatre. So much of what is going on is theatre, and we don't have to go along with it. But we do, because we believe that we're supposed to. We're supposed to follow certain diktats and the way of things. But none of this is actually true. And I will allude to this more. I set up a Rumble account under my name, and that may be a place where I'm able to talk more about these sort of things, because certain platforms may not allow me to continue. And I know a number of people have been saying to me, Richard, you know, they're not going to let you speak. I don't know what the future is, but I know that there is a lot of smoke and mirrors going on, and a lot of people want you, particularly large and important, so-called important and rich people who are invested in so much, want to keep the illusion going. But more and more I am reassured by the more I look that the wheels are coming off the bus and that more people are aware of things. Yes, there's a lot of people who still aren't, but by golly, things are changing for the best. So please, those people who are seeing stuff online and continually frightening yourself by these videos, don't be quite so frightened, because a lot of this is just an illusion.